Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series. Out go the lights, away we go. Good start from John Village. He's got ahead of the U2 off the line. Tim Roebuck losing a little bit of ground at the start. He's lost the class lead as well to number 61, Simon Gallen, in that single-seater at Monoposto Austin 7.
Yeah, Gallen shot away on the outside, didn't he?
He did.
All manner of different lines. Of course, the cars aren't going really quickly enough to demand the line through there on the first lap.
Yep, there you've got a good start being made by number 20, which is Ian Grant as well. But he spins it away on the exit of Druids. Does he keep it out of the barriers? Yes, he's a considerable distance away from the barriers, I'm pleased to say. And he will hopefully loop that car back round to rejoin. But it's John Village with a decent lead here at the beginning of the race.
He's charging away, isn't he? Because he doesn't want any real close attention this time round. Village, who won the first one by 3.39 seconds, had to work really hard for it either side of a safety car. But here they go. And some of the chargers in the middle. What amazes me is the difference of cars within the class.
Yes.
You see Charlie Plain Jones in what's obviously a Austin 7 Special against somebody in a low-line race car.
That's right, that's right. So we've got Village, Sage, Gallen and Mile. How many miles to the gallon do you get, I wonder, in a historic 750 Formula
Tim and
car?
Ben, probably. Oh, Alex or whatever.
Up towards the hairpin at Druids they go, and it's still number 61, Simon Gallen, that's holding on to third place from Ben Mile, who gets the better exit from the corner. But Supercharged Austin, who's mindful of Tim Roebuck closing in on him as well.
It's great, isn't it?
It is. It's a good little scrap, this, for third position overall. See if Roebuck can get the better of Gallen as well. Looks like Village has already checked out, really. 2 seconds to the good. It was quite close for much of the race. There was a brush between Village and Sage in the earlier race, but looks like this time around we're not going to see a repeat of that, so we'll focus on this nice little battle for third place going through Clark Curve. There they come then, up onto the Bradman Straight to complete lap number 2. Simon Gallen, Ben Mile and Tim Roebuck, the Class C car in between the two Class A S cars.
Again, that sight line is so different in an Austin 7 Special coming up to paddock. But he's hanging in there, isn't he? 18, Tim Roebuck.
He is, yep. And looking to try to relieve Ben Mile of 4th position and then go onto the back of Simon Gallen to see if he can get the class lead back. As far as Class A is concerned, Charlie Plain Jones is ahead of Mike Whitby at the moment.
2.5 seconds, 2.7 seconds.
There are the 3 cars disputing third place. Gallen, you can see, that's the great thing with these cars, you can see how hard he's working at the wheel as he goes through, trying to keep it on the straight and narrow on the Bradman Straight. He's got the Mile car behind him, and then Roebuck.
Well, yeah, Roebuck and Gallen are the class protagonists, aren't they, with these supercharged cars?
That's right.
Supercharger is just a mechanically driven forced induction system as opposed to a turbocharger that's driven from an exhaust. You don't have turbochargers in these sort of cars, clearly.
That's Charlie Plain Jones, who's leading in Class
That's a great looking car, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely super. It really pushes it on as well.
And it rides really well. It's very, very square.
Yep. It looks like it's handling pretty well. I noticed that Mike Whitby, yes, he has been reclassified to Class C, which makes sense because he's out there in his Centaur.
Right.
Rather than Class A, which he was shown in
the first race.
In the first race, so that does make sense.
And answers my question why the cars look so different within that class.
It does. It does. So here we go. Here's Ben Mile. He's trying to get back ahead of Roebuck because Roebuck has got up into third place now. 4th place, I should say. Behind Simon Gallen. So the two Supercharged Austin 7s are together now. with Ben Mile giving chase. Heading down the Cooper Straight towards Surtees for the 5th time in this race. 5 minutes have gone by. John Village has just done a 62.01, best lap of the race. He was in the 60s in race 1, did a 60.74. Oh, he's done a 61.84 now. And Tim Sage did a 61.68 to claw a 10th or so back. Well, Ben Mile trying to go around the outside of Tim Roebuck at Clark Curve, but the supercharged Austin 7 quicker in a straight line.
Yeah, he won't live with that little bit of extra top-end boost.
Roebuck taking a different line to Gallen, trying to get up on the inside on the way up to Druids. And look at the narrow wheels they have on these cars. He's done it, yeah. He's through.
Forged a space, and he's taken Mile with him.
Looks like it,
Gallen's coming back on the exit, and that'll be down to acceleration.
Yeah, but Mile, I think, has squeezed through. So Gallen's lost a couple of positions. And Roebuck has taken the lead of Class AS, crucially there as well. No points, of course, in historic 754. It is just a series rather than a championship with points awarded.
1.34. Malak coming back. The U2 mark. It's quite a late model U2, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's sort of dressed as an earlier one. And look at that. Fantastic.
Drivers were looking over at one another there, weren't they? That's Roebuck back ahead of Mile, who was briefly in front. So we've now got Mile between himself and Gallen. Mile having a look over his shoulder to see if Gallen's close enough to challenge, which he wasn't. Down to Graham Hill Bend again. Very different cars, but so evenly matched. Roebuck's done a 64.13, Mile a 64.02.
Mile's car looks to have really chunky tyres on it, doesn't it?
It does. Well, compared to the Austin 7, certainly.
And they're side by side into paddock, and the Malak's ahead. Tim Sage has squeezed ahead.
Yes, a change of lead then. John Village there, we can see on screen now, has given away what was a 2-second lead over the line. He was 100th ahead. But Sage has found something there. It was a slower lap from Village, but Sage has done a personal better, 60.97. I think that's quicker than he went in the first race as well.
He did a 61.01.
Well, either way, Village is coming back at him now with the use of a little bit of curb on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. They're coming up to lap Mike Whitby.
Look at that for experience. Round the outside at Surtees.
Yep, so Village back through. Round past Whitby's Centaur they go. And it's the Village V2 from the Malak, which, as we've seen earlier on, is quicker in a straight line. Powers back through with the 1 litre Ford engine, but once you get to the twistier bits, then Village really knows what he's doing with that V2.
They've got the Cooper ahead of them, the Cooper Mark 10. Down in the programme as a Mark 2.
Yes, Mike Whitby's car, the Centaur that we can see, the yellow car with the red stripe, it's built by Richard Scott in 1977. Mike Whitby's owned it since 2020. It's had at least 3 previous owners, that car.
Yeah, Richard Scott designed the Centaurs.
Here we go, side by side again. This time it's Luigi Bayliss that they're coming up to lap.
And that's rather helped John Village, because he saw the gap. He was able to read that situation and repass.
Luigi Bayliss running in 8th position. Still showing on the time screen this is for the Sabio, but I believe it's Luigi for this race.
And this time it's much earlier, the advantage in a straight line for the U2.
Yeah, 5.5 minutes left, so they'll probably get 6 more laps out of it. Look how much speed Village carries through Paddock Hill Bend there, and he's going to try and carry it up the inside into Druids, but locks a wheel there. That's cost him a length or 2.
And Wilson in the 500's got ahead, the Cooper Norton's got ahead of Charlie Plain Jones in 22.
Much more successful race this for Wilson then. Here's Village again, getting alongside on the run to Surtees, coming up to lap the Ian Grant car that's in 7th place.
Village uses the back markers very well, doesn't he? The slower cars.
He does, and actually the
look, and here's Sage still not passed.
No, he's not. He's lost a lot of time there to Tim Sage. The back marker's given look to John Village. The back marker's given Tim Sage a real stuffing there, and he's lost 1.38 seconds and 1 minute 3 that lap time for Tim Sage. John Village was actually a PB at 101.38 in spite of having to deal with the back marker, which shows how well he's doing that.
I think just kept his foot absolutely flat through Surtees, didn't he? And has he broken? Village just broke. Or maybe had a quick spin. He's picked up again.
He has, and he's now got to lap for the second time in 2 laps the number 20 car of Grant. But now Tim Sage has been gifted a big lead there. So didn't exactly see what happened to John Village there, but it's certainly going to make the last 3 3/4 minutes a little bit more entertaining, I would suggest, than it might otherwise have been.
Question though, whether Sage in the Malloch can actually maintain the pace on his own. We need someone there as a sort of pacemaker, and he's got problems now.
Yeah,
he's slowed.
How bizarre! So now Tim Sage has slowed over the line. So John Village has gone back into the lead of the race. Now, is this like a permanent problem for Sage? I don't think it is. He looks to be back up to speed now as well. So it's all rather odd what's gone on in the last couple of minutes in this race. Tim Sage in the U2. Half a second or so.
Some questions to be posed by Josh Barrett at the end of this race, and the Malloch slowed again.
It has.
It's
this time possibly terminally.
Yes.
Yeah, it is terminally.
Pulled off.
So there won't be a question to be asked by Josh Barrett to Tim Sage. So that's going to promote Ben Mile, who's back up to second. Tim Roebuck is there in 3rd place, and Simon Gallen will be 4th. There's the gate opening for Tim Sage.
She isn't going anywhere.
It's
the car's staying there. Dag nabbit, he says to himself.
So there's 18, which is Tim Roebuck. So he'll be now up to 3rd place, leading the Austin 7 class. He's about 4.5 seconds clear of Simon Gallen as things stand in his class. The Austin 7 class being led by Charlie Plain Jones from Richard Verheyden and John Moss. And there's Charlie Plain Jones. We just get a glimpse of him as the 18 car of Timothy Roebuck flashes past. Less than 2 minutes to go in the race. Probably 2 more laps to be run. And there is the 18 car of Roebuck, formerly owned by John Miles, that car. And he turns his way through Graham Hill Bend onto the Cooper Straight once again. John Village has just gone back through to complete his 13th lap. So yes, he will have time for 2 more laps, in fact. Luigi Bayliss in 8th. On screen now in number 81, the driver from Rugby in the Centaur Mark 14. Novice Cross, you can see tucked away on the back of that car, indicating a new driver.
Richard Scott of Centaur fame also designed the one-off VZ Formula 3 car, which is also used in monoposte. Keith Messer races and has done for many, many years.
Absolutely.
Named after the Bishop VZ of Sutton Coldfield.
Indeed, my neck of the woods. So we've into the final knock-ins of this race now. There's the 81 car, Luigi Bayliss, heading through the left-hander at Surtees. And we're going to get, indeed we've had the last lap board out to the race leader John Village, who's just up at Druids now. He's turning his way down to Graham Hill Bend for the 15th and final time in this race after a skirmish with Tim Sage for much of the race. He's now heading into Surtees for the final time. He's going to win this race by a quarter of a minute or so from Ben Mile in second place. He's just making his way through Clearways, Clark Curve, and now onto the start and finish straight. There you can see him, number 29, John Village. In the end, it's going to look like a dominant victory, but that doesn't tell the full story of the race. He takes the checkered flag to win the Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series. 4 races down this season, 4 victories for John Village in the V2, and a convincing win it is as well. Over 16 seconds clear in the end of Ben Mile, who takes second place. 17.91 seconds, in fact, the gap at the end. Third place, he's going to go the way of Timothy Roebuck. He's just coming up to the line now, who wins the Supercharged Austin 7 class. And Simon Gallen will be 4th, just on the line, a little bit behind the car lap down of James Wilson, the Cooper, that won its class. It was the only car indeed in Class D. So last few cars coming through. There's Charlie Plain Jones across the line to win Class A in 9th place overall. And he is heading home with the Peter Marsh car that's actually a couple of laps down, but Richard Verheyden as well in 6th place, in 11th place takes second place within Class A. Let's take a look at the results then of that Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series race. John Village, the winner, 15 laps completed by him in the 15 minutes that were allowed. He was 17.91 seconds clear of number 12 Ben Miles, so 29 the winner from 12. 18 Tim Roebuck was 3rd and winning his class, half a minute or so behind John Village. 61 Simon Gallen was in 4th position, and then everyone else was a lap down. So 5th number 20 Ian Grant, 6th number 99 David Lewis, 7th was 81 Samuel Bayliss. A class win for James Wilson, he got to the end this time in number 24, and indeed a class win for Charlie Plain Jones as well in number 22 in 9th position. And Mike Whitby completed the top 10 ahead of Richard Verheyden, John Moss, Tim Mile and Peter Marsh, with Tim Sage and Nick Haywood-Cook both retiring from that Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series race. And they are back in action, as I say, at Mallory Park in 3 weeks' time on the circuit that's very well suited to this type of car. So we've just got one more race to come here at Brands Hatch this evening. That's the Raceparts 750 Formula Championship race, which we'll see after we've heard from Josh Barrett.
So we're down here after another historic 750 Formula race, won by John Village, who's having his picture taken as a race winner. Well done, John. Again, a win, but didn't quite go to plan.
No, it didn't. The gear lever broke.
And you had a good battle while all that happened.
Well, exactly. Tim got by me, and I don't know what happened to him. Where did he finish?
He pulled off after.
Oh, dear.
But do you enjoy battles like that? Though, it's a bit more straight line speed than you.
No, you've got to have a bit of crack. No good just going round.
And still enjoying it?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And doing the rest of the season as well?
Well, I can't do Cadwell. I'm at the Grand Prix. Right. But, yeah, the rest I'll do.
Let somebody else win that one then.
Yeah.
Well done, John.
Thank you.
The supercharged winner again was Tim Roebuck. Tim just a few seconds ahead of Simon again, so it's quite close between you two nowadays.
Yes, it is, and he flew past me at the start. He must have got an amazing start. And then Ben came past as well, so we had a good three-way battle for a couple of laps. And eventually I managed to get past them both, but Ben got back past again. But yeah, it was good fun. It was hard work, actually, that race.
You've been driving this car for a few years now, but you sound like you're really enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's a great car to drive and it handles really well. This is a perfect place for it because it's just all corners. Yeah.
Looking forward to the rest of the races now.
Yes, yeah.
Anywhere in particular that you're looking forward to?
Well, I'm going to miss Cadwell, unfortunately,
Oh, right,
but it'd be nice to go back to Donington.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Both for you and John are missing Cadwell, so somebody else will win there. And then Charlie, again, top this time. It looks like you had a bit of a bigger gap at the end.
I did, yeah, a little bit more fresh air, and yeah. But it was good to be back because the car lost all its oil on the first lap at Croft, and so I had to sit out. So it's really good to see the car back to its old self, really. And yeah, it was a good race, but yeah, not quite as pressing as the previous one, really. But good time.
Is it nice to have the second one a bit more relaxed? And
Well, you still got to press on, and there's always someone in your rearview mirror. But yeah, a little bit more elbow room this time.
And you back for the rest of the races?
Oh yes, all being well. The cars now seems to be back to its route health. We were running in the first practice, but after that, no, it's been really good. Very pleasing.
Congratulations, well done. So one more race to go today. Within the historic 750 Formula cars, next it's the contemporary cars in the Raceparts 750 Formula Championship.